Before we talk in detail about the new NCII SOPs, could you set up the context? Why these SOPs needed and what are the gaps which exist in the present system?
Such a welcome step by the government, this standard operating procedure. The intent behind it is something which I have to commend, because I have worked with people who have experienced non-consensual intimate image abuse, and it is such a traumatic event in someone's life to have their intimate images shared online without their consent, or even the threats to share these images can be such a it can break your hope and your trust. So any measure which governments introduce to try and help victims navigate these very difficult situations is always welcome. So the genesis of these standard operating procedures is one such victim survivor who approached the High Court and shared their experience as to what their experience was when their intimate images were shared online without their consent. And what really stood out was the fact that it's not just something which you just deal with and you can move on with your life. It's something which stays with you for a really long time, because you can get one image taken down, it pops up somewhere else and it pops up somewhere else. So the victims and the survivors have to be constantly on guard to check where this content is being shared, and the burden is on them to report it and get it taken down. And so the Chennai High Court then directed the Ministry for IT to come up with these standard operating procedures, which would not just help victims but also guide tech platforms and the government as to what the response should be like when someone encounters this horrific abuse. So it is the intent behind these SOPs is again very, very welcome, because this is such a horrific harm. So anything that can help victims get some kind of structure on how should they respond when this happens to them or when they're being threatened, and what should tech companies, what's the expectation out of them, what are the different government departments that kick into play when something like this happens. It's a very strong intent, or the goal behind this document is something that I really appreciate.